Hello, learners. Of course, you're in week three, as you're all aware. And I wanted to take this opportunity to basically take you to the content that we basically covered in that week. Of course, in week three, we had lesson one, where we were dealing with the management of files in a computer. And of course, under this, in the lesson, the learner should be able to know about files and folders, know how to organize files and folders, storage, and data compression. And as you can see, with the theme I did basically put a chat link, a live chat for all of us. That is when you as a student have got any questions, you simply go direct and get to chat me. I'll be able to respond to the issues that are there, be it a question or just a concern. In lesson two, we dealt with the files and folders. In lesson three, we dealt with the file storage and compression, that is data storage devices in computing. And of course, lesson four, basically we needed to understand the differences between a file and a folder. So generally, when you talk about the file management, we're basically referring to the data that is stored in our computer. And let me just take you direct so that you get to understand the differences between a file and a folder. And then, of course, I have to click on that lesson four, where there's that content. So a file basically is a common storage unit in a computer, and all programs and data are written into a file and read from a file. A folder holds one or more files, and a folder can be empty until it is filled. A folder can also contain other folders. A folder that is within another folder is referred to as a subfolder, and there can be many levels of folders within a folder. A file on the other side can be described basically as a file can be described as a set of related data or information and is stored on a secondary storage device. A file can be data or information file or simply a program file and can contain data in any format. Examples, they could be audio files, they could be executable programs files, amongst others. A folder then can simply be defined as a container to carry files. A folder inside another folder, like I said, is simply referred to as a subfolder. There's a table basically here that outlines a very clear difference between a file and a folder. For example, you can say that with files, they have got extensions, while folders, on the other hand, do not have extension. A file can contain another folder, cannot contain another file or folder because simply folders, on the other hand, are used to store the same files. You can see something about the memory size, the attributes, the supported operation, and the sharing. That is basically the content of that helps us to really understand the clear difference between a file and a folder. Literally, all that you're basically doing on your computer, they're getting to be stored as files. But then I can decide, like I want to take you direct to my desktop so that you can be able to see what is there. These are files and folders. Some of them are also called the drive icons. I have got this particular folder here. I'll try to move it. You can see I've simply given it a name as online learning, meaning whatever is inside are contents that are related to what I'm doing. We have got another file here, the personal timetable. We have got another file here, an Excel file. And what I have here with me is a folder containing the various videos. As you can see, it's a folder named videos, meaning if I get to open it, whatever I'm supposed to get right inside should simply be the video files. Something very important is that whenever you're viewing the content of a folder, they can be viewed. You can see up here I have got file, I have got home, I have got share and view. So if I get to click on the view, then I can be able to see the content of my folder as large icons, extra large icons. We have got list, we have got content, we have got tiles, small icons. If I go to the content, I'm able to see, of course, the name of that particular file. Like this is a file named computer applications one, and then the dot MP4, that is what we refer to as the file extension. Down here we have this file, Flavius.mp4. Again, ICT and ethics, types of software, .mp4. So the MP4, remember I mentioned something about the file, the difference, when I was mentioning about the difference between a file and a folder, I mentioned something about files having extensions while folders do not have extensions. So .mp4 means this is a video file. And then you can see something about the details about it. You can see something about the frame height, the frame width, and then at the far end, I'm able to see more details about that particular file. For example, the date that it was modified, what time it was, and even its size in the computer. 100 megabytes, the other one is 174 megabytes, and the other one is 197. So that is the content of a folder. So all that we have here, these are basically what? Files. They all reside inside a folder we call videos. I go ahead and again close that so that I go back to the desktop. So this is all that is within my desktop. If maybe sometimes the files appear to be much smaller, then what you can simply be doing is you can simply go ahead, you right click on the desktop, then you go to the option for view, and then you say you view them as medium icons, or again right click on the desktop, you go to view, then you say view as large icons, so that they're much clearer. This is very important when it comes to managing the files and folders. Again, since they're large enough, I'll go back and view them to small icons. When they appear small icons, this is how it looks like. You can always right click, then you go to the option by sort, then you say sort by the date that they are modified. So this is all the files and folders that are there. Lightspeed server, that is simply a file but have online records. This is a folder, while this is a file. So it means this particular file, the Lightspeed server, it can reside right inside here. And if I want to move it, I simply click, then I get to drag and drop it on top of that. As you can see, it's just gone inside my folder. Very important. As you learn that, here is my file now, the Lightspeed server. As you learn that, it is also important to know, maybe for those that do not know how to create a file, so to create a folder, then how do I create it on the desktop? If I want to create a folder on the desktop, then I can simply, like right click on a free space on the desktop, then I go to the option new, and then click on folder. After clicking on folder, it comes with a default name there, labeled new folder. But since that is not the name that I want to use, I will simply backspace. Then I call that folder, I name that folder as computer, and tools. That is the name of the folder, meaning I can now start maybe saving various files there. I'll open a simple program like Microsoft Word. Here it is. Then I try and ensure that this particular file is saved right inside that folder. So this is just a simple demonstration. So let's just pay attention and I take you through. Good. Open it like that. And since I want to save that file, the file that I want to create, I want to save it right inside the folder labeled Computer Fundamentals on the desktop. So on Microsoft Word, I will type whatever is relevant to it. And maybe I can say, I can call hardware components, and I talk of input devices, talk of output devices, and I talk of storage devices, I talk of communication devices. These are some of the hardware components. Let me just correct this. So I'll highlight, then I go and number them. Have a look at that. I try to increase the font size of that. Very good. Some of the hardware components are here: the input devices, the output devices, the storage devices, and the communication devices. I'm not, of course, not forgetting about the CPU. CPU, and the main memory. These are the various groups of the hardware what components. So I want to go ahead and get to save this file in the same folder that we have on the desktop. I will click on the File tab, then I go down and click on Save As. Then I go and browse. So I'm browsing basically so that I'm able to access that particular folder that is there on the desktop. I'll click on my desktop. Then before I save, let me just list. So I open the folder Computer Fundamentals. Then I come and save it here as hardware components and save. As you can see now here, if you go to the title, you're able to see the name of the file. It is hardware components dot doc cx, meaning dot x. That one means the dot x is the file extension. Don't forget about that. I go ahead and close that particular file. After closing, I just want to confirm whether that was saved in the folder. I get to open the folder Computer Fundamentals, and there you are. Very good. You can see the file hardware components now has been saved in the folder Computer Fundamentals. Very, very important for you to understand. And basically that is how you get to save. So in the notes, I have talked about files and folders, how to manage them. You notice here that on the desktop, I'm not just having that file, put anywhere on the desktop, but it is saved right inside our folder, Computer Fundamentals. So when you talk about the management of files and folders in the computer, it is about ensuring that they're well organized, they're well saved. Save the right file with the right name in the right folder, so that you don't have your desktop crowded with so many. As you can see, there's a lot of space on your desktop. All this is just empty space. So if you don't manage your files and folders well in a computer, then you'll find your desktop is all crowded with so many other things. This is very, very important for us. And that is basically like a summarization of what was meant for us for this week. Down here, there's a Zoom class that has been scheduled for the Thursday, 22nd. At what time? It is going to run between 2 to 3. So the password is all here for all of us to see. And kindly, I want to request you that you don't miss this lesson, because it will also form part of our work 3 work. Very, very important. That is on Computer Fundamentals. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.